My name is Maren Cole, and I'm 30. Oldest child, quiet fixer, the person who knows which account a bill will bounce from before it even tries. I run a web of e-commerce storefronts that look like mood boards and function like factories. 6 figures a month on clean runs, taxes paid, teams fed. For reasons that still confuse my family, I went back to school at the same time. Night classes, case studies at 2 in the morning, while a dashboard blinked like a city. Graduation morning was bright and dry. I ironed my robe like it mattered. My apartment smelled like coffee and printer ink. I took one photo for the program portal, tight smile, and set my phone face down so I wouldn't doom scroll. At 9:10 a.m., habit 1, Instagram opened itself. First story, my sister Tessa on a boarding bridge, sunglasses too big for her face, boarding passes fanned like playing cards. Caption, surprise Italy. Second story, my mother's repost with a comment underneath that pinned something sharp beneath my ribs. She's the only one who makes us proud. I replayed it twice, like maybe pixels could change their mind. The family chat pinged. Mom, don't be dramatic today. Mal, sorry, Maren. Focus on your ceremony. We can celebrate you some other time. Photo, suitcases by their door, Dad's hand on Tessa's shoulder, the dog and a CIO bandana that used to make me laugh. No congratulations. Just logistics and that sentence I couldn't scrub from the inside of my skull. My best friend Jordan buzzed. He held up a greasy bag like a trophy. Breakfast hero, he said, then saw my face. Who died? I handed him my phone. He read, jaw tightening. Wow, a surprise trip on your graduation day. Tessa's always wanted to see Florence, I said. My voice sounded fine. It tasted like metal. You know the script. He didn't. Not really. He just knew me. We're going to be loud for you, he said. You're not alone. The cap sat on the table like a joke. My phone buzzed again. Aunt Donna, proud of our little star. Italy is once in a lifetime. Your time will come, Maren. My time will come red like a fortune cookie for people who never pick up a check. If you asked my family to describe me last year, they'd say, Maren makes money online, like I sell counterfeits out of a trunk. What I actually built looks boring from the outside and miraculous from the inside. Suppliers, logistics partners, contractors, automation stacked on analytics, stacked on timing. It wasn't glamorous. It was spreadsheets, testing, emails from customers at 3 a.m. asking if neutral beige was warmer than sand. We didn't grow up with money. That matters. We grew up with a heater that clanked and a roof that whistled. Mom kept lists on the fridge, coupons, due dates, threats from utility companies. Dad worked 2 jobs and came home with his shoulders curled like commas. So when my stores started hitting, I felt obligated, not because they asked, because I remembered promising the ceiling as a kid, future me will fix it. When Dad's back went out, I covered physical therapy. When Mom's car sounded like a blender, I paid for an alternator. When Tessa started design school and financial aid didn't cover housing, I said, text me the link. I set up a family emergency account at their bank. My deposits only, my name on it because the teller required one. Mom's card because emergencies don't check business hours. Guess what became an emergency? Your sister needs better software, Mom texted one spring. Then, mandatory workshop for her portfolio. Then, flight promo ends tonight. 200 here, 400 there, a seminar, a required international module that looked suspiciously like a beach. Every yes bought them breath. Every yes erased me a little more. When I went back to school, I didn't ask for help. I sent updates anyway. First stats class since high school. Mom sent a thumbs up. Dad wrote, don't overdo it. Tessa didn't answer. 2 days later, she posted a reel, first class to Cabo, set to a song from one of my ads. Scarcity didn't end when money arrived. Expectations multiplied. Last winter, the emergency fund dipped, not empty, but low. Tuition and payroll hit the same week, so I paused my deposits. I forgot to tell Mom. At 6:03 a.m., did you forget? For what? Our rent. Your rent comes out of Dad's check. Not this month. It's fine. I used the card, the emergency card. Don't use that tone, she wrote, and somewhere across town, Tessa chirped, Mar, you literally make money your personality. I topped up the account and told myself to breathe. I added two-factor authentication to anything that could blink. 2 weeks before graduation, Mom texted, "We might do something special for Tessa. Don't be weird about it." What does that mean? Confetti gif. No budget, no details. The week of, I asked if they were coming to the ceremony. Flights were impossible. Chairs were too long. Tessa sent a sparkle emoji. And then, surprise Italy! She's the only one who makes us proud. The problem wasn't the trip. Trip's end. The problem was the sentence. It made something crystalline that I'd been sanding down for years. In my family, I am a wallet with a smile. If I say yes, I'm loving. If I pause, I'm difficult. If I succeed, it doesn't count. If Tessa breathes, it's gold. I wish I could say I let it go and floated through the ceremony enlightened. I sat in a folding chair like everyone else, robe scratching my neck, name pronounced correctly for once. Jordan whooped like he was paid by the decibel. My advisor hugged me and said, "Promise you'll hire early." I promised. On the ride home, my phone exploded. Airport lounges, Prosecco, the Duomo filtered into candy. I turned notifications off and set the cap on my desk. Breeze lifted the edge of the robe like an unfunny joke. Then the bank app pinged. Large purchase attempt. $3,980. Boutique Hotel Forenza. Emergency account. The card with Mom's name. The account with only my deposits. My pulse steadied in the way it does when a storm finally moves and the road appears. Not rage, clarity. I called Mom. She answered bright. "Graduate. Why is the emergency card paying for a boutique hotel?" "Don't be negative," she snapped smoothly. "It's Tessa's capstone experience." "Emergency," I said, "not capstone." She sighed the parent sigh. "Marin, everything's an emergency when you're building a future. Money is a tool." "Whose tool?" "You don't have a family of your own. You don't get it. Be grateful you can help. You'd be nothing without us. We're the reason you work so hard. Tessa actually makes us proud, and you can't let her have this." There it was again, not a slip, a policy. I didn't yell. I opened my laptop. Two-factor. Dashboard. Years of transfers lined up like a confession. Mortgage. Utilities. Dentist. Rent. Capstone. Just till Friday. "We'll pay you back." I took screenshots, not to post, to remember when they told me a different story. "I'm done," I said. "Done with what?" Her laugh was brittle. "Playing victim? Grow up." "Done funding you." Silence. Then a tight chuckle. "Cute. You can't cut your family off because you're mad 5 minutes. It's been 5 years. If you do this, don't expect us to be there when you need us." "I haven't needed you," I said. It sounded meaner than I meant. It was also true. "Enjoy your little certificate," she said and hung up. Noah texted then, "Breathe. I'm here. Noah Reyes, my boyfriend, is allergic to fixing people, but excellent at standing beside them while they fix themselves. He also, inconveniently, has an ex we occasionally run into in emails, Clara Vance, now a compliance manager at our bank. The universe has a sense of humor. I don't. I opened a new thread to Mom, Dad, and Tessa and attached a PDF, 4 pages of the emergency account, every deposit circled Marion in red. "This is not a family fund. It's mine. Going forward, you pay your own bills. The card disables at midnight. Plan accordingly." "Read, read, read." "Don't humiliate us," Mom wrote finally. "People are watching me." "Then stop making me responsible for your choices," I replied. My thumb hovered over disable card. I pressed it. I swept the balance to my personal account. Not revenge. Gravity. The world did not tilt. The kettle didn't scream. My apartment stayed exactly where it was. Outside, a kid wobbled past on a scooter, delighted by velocity he didn't have to earn. Inside, I felt something quieter than triumph, sturdier than anger. A latch finally set. I woke up before my alarm to the soft blue light of a phone already busy without me. Hotel Forenza. Pre-authorization retry. Black car, Forense. VIP transfer queued. Aero Plus Lounge. Day pass bundle. The emergency card was doing cardio. I brewed coffee and watched the crema bloom like a storm system on radar. When I called the bank, I expected a maze. Instead, a calm voice said, "Ms. Cole, we can confirm the card is locked, per your settings." I recognized the signature in the follow-up email before I read the name. Clipped sentences, immaculate bulleting, the kind of punctuation that feels like a firm handshake. From Clara Vance, Risk and Compliance, Subject, confirmation. Card disabled. Account. Sweep completed. Body, actioned per primary owner authorization. No additional access permitted without written consent. If disputes arise, reply to this thread. Clara, Noah's ex. Of course. There was no wink in the message, no hello from a past life, just policy. A relief so clean it bordered on kindness. Noah arrived with grocery bags balanced like offerings. I brought fruit and also the good breakfast sandwiches because fruit is aspirational. I handed him my phone. He scanned, eyebrows up. Clara handled it? Professionally, I said. No shortcuts. Good, he said, and meant it. We've always agreed on this. Boundaries that require favoritism aren't boundaries. By 10, the family group chat was a bonfire. Mom, the hotel says the card declined. Fix this now. Dad, don't embarrass us abroad. Tessa, you're actually sick. I'm blocking you if you ruin this. I typed and erased. Typed again. Ended with, I'll cover one night so you can make new arrangements. After that, it's yours. Mom, we are at the desk. People are looking. Dad, this is petty. Tessa, you're power tripping because we didn't sit in a gym for your robe day. Noah glanced over. You don't owe a buffer, you know. I know, I said. I'm not doing it for them. I'm doing it so later I don't have to audit my own heart. He nodded, approval without glow, the kind that trusts me to know my own line. I paid one night directly to the hotel, emailed the receipt, and wrote, After this, it's yours. Then I moved their thread to muted and my life to audible. The hour after a boundary is the longest hour in the world. Time turns to taffy. Your stomach practices speeches you'll never give. Every shadow looks like regret wearing your coat. I folded laundry, answered 3 customer emails with macros that felt like lullabies. The quiet held. At 12:19 p.m., Cousin B sent a screenshot from Tessa's story. A pout by a marble counter, text overlay. When your family isn't family. Comments bloomed like mold. So toxic. Cut him. Sorry her. Loose. Main character energy, babe. I closed the app and opened a spreadsheet. Numbers don't comment. Mom switched tactics at 1:02. Mom, we're your parents. We sacrificed so much. This is how you repay us? Me. I repaid you for 5 years. That's what this is. A receipt that ends. Then the Florentine number called. Senora Cole? A man asked in soft English. I am the front desk manager. Your mother has requested we speak to you. I sent payment for one night, I said. After that, a new card is required. Capisco, he said. Your generosity is noted. We will assist them in finding appropriate accommodations. The pause around appropriate made me want to hug this stranger and also tip him in emotional hazard pay. After we hung up, my phone vibrated so hard it buzzed across the counter. Mom, a cheaper hotel? In this heat? Are you happy now? Dad, don't think we'll forget this. Tessa, you enjoyed paying for everything because it made you superior. Now that I have something, you can't stand it. I read that 3 times. The projection was a mile long and 2 inches deep. You didn't pay for me. You paid to control Mom, she added. I set the phone down like it might crack if I held it any tighter. Noah slid a glass of water to my elbow. What's the sentence? He asked. That I'm a wallet with a superiority complex, I said, half laughing, half not. And your sentence? I looked at the sticky note I'd written last night and stuck to the cabinet. I don't fund rooms that erase me. That one, I said. He kissed my temple, light as a period at the end of a short, true line. Afternoon brought the supporting cast. Aunt Donna, we all sacrifice for family. You're not special. Uncle Ray, when your mother is gone, you'll hate yourself. Neighbor Ruth, whom I've waved to twice in 5 years, your mom is exhausted. Be kind. I muted them all, like turning down a radio to hear a kettle finally start to whisper. Work didn't care about my drama. Diva, the new support rep, sent a tidy update. Resolve 41 tickets. Wrote macros for warranty versus wear and tear. Please review. I wanted to bake her a cake and also bump her rate. I did the second. Boundaries don't have to arrive only as no. Sometimes they're yes, clean and precise. At 6:07 p.m., Jordan texted from my building stoop. I have celebratory tacos and a playlist that says not your bank. We ate on the floor, the cheap way that feels rich. When my phone buzzed, I didn't look. Noah picked it up, glanced, and flipped its screen down. Later, he said. Later, I agreed, and meant it. Night stretched long and merciful. Sleep came like a train that finally reached my station. At 12:03 a.m., a favorite override slid through anyway. Mom, we moved. It's not what we planned. Your sister is crying. I hope you're proud. I stared at the message in the dark. Pride had nothing to do with it. Pride was the word she used when she meant control. In the morning, Clara's team sent a second confirmation. The card remained disabled, attempts were blocked. Any future access would require notarized consent from me. At the bottom, a single line added in that neutral, bank-approved tone. Note: emergency designations are best reserved for unexpected hardship, not anticipated travel. A boundary footnoted. Midday, Dad called. I answered on the fourth ring because habit is a hard religion to quit. You made your mother beg strangers, he said, voice shredded by humiliation into anger. You don't do that to blood. You don't spend my money and then call it blood, I said. You don't book Italy over my graduation and call it love. You're heartless. I'm finished, I said. The words sat there between us, a table set for one. He hung up. The silence that followed didn't echo. It absorbed. At 2, a different ringtone. Clara again, this time a brief call. Just confirming you received the compliance notice, she said. Her voice was, as I remembered it in meetings years ago, precise, unflirted. Also, your security flags caught an address change attempt last month. We locked it. Thanks, I said. I appreciate professionalism. A beat. Policy protects everyone, she replied, and was gone before nostalgia could enter the room. By evening, the feed had moved on to someone else's spectacle. I watered my plant, printed my hiring plan, scheduled training for Diva and a second part-time packer. The apartment smelled like cilantro and calm. At 11:27 p.m., a final text from Tessa. You'll regret this when you need me. I looked around at my small, quiet life, the sticky note, the neat sink, the cap folded on a chair, and wondered, gently, what she thought I'd ever needed that looked like her approval. I typed, find your own card, then deleted it. I typed nothing and put my phone face down. Some victories are loud. Mine sounded like a door that finally latched and didn't bounce. When I finally checked my phone 3 days later, the family group chat looked like a crime scene. Dozens of messages, walls of guilt, a few stray emojis, like someone thought they might lighten the carnage. Mom, we had to downgrade twice. The beds are tiny. Dad, you've humiliated us in front of everyone. Tessa, you're a monster. You always needed to be the hero. Now you're the villain. I scrolled through it all while sitting at my desk, morning light spilling across invoices and a cold cup of coffee. Nothing in me rose to meet the chaos. No guilt, no thrill. Just the quiet certainty that they were finally living in the balance I'd been carrying for them. The following week, Noah and I drove out to a quiet overlook on the coast. The sky was the same color as wet concrete, soft and undecided. He handed me fries and said, So, you going to look? At what? Your family. I know you've been pretending you haven't checked their stories. I smirked. Do you really want to watch this train wreck? He shrugged. I'll bring the popcorn. I opened Instagram. Mom's story. A photo of a table with one chipped wine glass. Caption. Sometimes life humbles you. Dad's post. An aerial of Florence with no people in it. Caption. Beauty costs. Tessa. A mirror selfie in a cheaper hotel bathroom. Makeup flawless. Smile stretched to its limit. Caption. Lesson learned. Never depend on anyone. Noah leaned in. They're performing Misery. Exactly, I said. And for once, I'm not in the cast. Back home, work thrived. Diva, my new rep, had streamlined everything, leaving my inbox a calm sea instead of a battlefield. Orders shipped, refunds balanced, revenue steady. Every spreadsheet told the same story. Stability. On the third week, I got an email from an unknown address, kelly@theatriumevents.com. Subject, regarding the Cole wedding account. My breath paused. I clicked. Dear Ms. Cole, this is to confirm cancellation of the Atrium's event reservation under the name Tessa Cole. The final balance was unpaid, and per contract, all services are now void. Best regards, Kelly, the Atrium event team. Attached, an itemized invoice, Thousands of dollars of losses. I stared at the number. The total was almost poetic, nearly identical to what they'd drained from my emergency account. Noah walked in just then, holding 2 coffees. You okay? They canceled her venue, I said quietly. No payment, no wedding. He set the cups down, tone careful. Do you feel bad? I thought about it. The flights, the smug captions, the years of being their invisible safety net. No, I said finally. I feel balanced. He smiled faintly. You know, that's not cruelty. That's math. That night, a new message from Mom. Your sister is heartbroken. I hope you're proud. I replied. You keep mistaking boundaries for cruelty. They're not the same thing. She didn't answer, but she read it. 2 days later, Clara's name popped up again in my inbox. Subject: Routine Account Security Notice. FYI, a failed attempt to reopen your family sub-account occurred last night. It's locked permanently now. If you need new security measures, let us know. CV. Noah read it over my shoulder and whistled softly. Your ex-bank nemesis really does protect your peace. I smiled. Irony's efficient when it works in your favor. Weeks passed. The crisis messaging slowed, replaced by shorter, almost polite texts. Dad, the mortgage is late again. We're working on it. Mom, just thought you should know your father's blood pressure is up. Me, hope he sees a doctor. Each reply was a thread cut cleanly at the knot. Then one night, Aunt Marie called. She never meddled, so I answered. I'm not here to pick sides, she said immediately, but they're scared. Of what? Of finally doing life without you underwriting it. I didn't answer. She sighed. Sometimes people mistake your backbone for coldness, Marin, but the truth? You just stopped offering loans they never meant to repay. Her voice softened. I'm proud of you, kid. I closed my eyes. Thank you, I whispered. The words felt unfamiliar on my tongue. That weekend, I started redecorating. I sold the old desk, the one with the dent from the night I cried over their unpaid bills, and bought a new one made of oak, solid and quiet. The plant I kept forgetting to water now had 3 new leaves. I took that as a metaphor. By late July, Tessa's life had turned into whispers. A mutual friend sent me screenshots from her private story. Arguments with her fiancé, captions like, money changes people and never count on family. The comments under her posts went from envy to pity. I didn't feel vindicated, just detached, like watching a weather report from a country I no longer lived in. In August, Dad's car died. For once, he didn't ask for money. Aunt Marie texted a photo of him on a bus. Looks lost, she wrote, just letting you know. I waited an hour, then called. Hey, I said. I heard about the car. A pause. Then gruff. Yeah, it happens. I can help you find something affordable, I said. Send me your budget, I'll help you build a plan. But I'm not buying it for you. A longer pause, then quietly. Send links. That was the first honest exchange we'd had in years. Weeks rolled by. Tessa started an internship. Mom stopped calling me by name in public posts. And for the first time in my adult life, my money stayed where I put it. I'd expected regret. Instead, there was room, mental, emotional, literal room, to breathe. One quiet Sunday morning, Noah found me in the kitchen making pancakes, music humming low. You look happy, he said. I think I am, I replied. He grinned. Your plant survived. That's symbolic, right? Maybe, I said. Or maybe I finally remembered to water myself. I didn't check my phone for the rest of the day. No calls, no guilt, just sunlight. Fall arrived quietly. No drama, just light softening on the edges of everything. My inbox stayed steady, my phone blessedly silent. For the first time in years, peace didn't feel like waiting for the next explosion. It just was. Then, one Sunday morning, it buzzed. Mom. Just 2 words. Dinner. Tomorrow. I stared at it for a long time. The last time she'd invited me to dinner, it had come with an invoice hidden in the dessert. But something about the message, no guilt, no emojis, felt different. Noah looked up from his laptop. You going? I think I have to, I said. Not for them, for closure. He nodded. Just remember your own table rules. Their house looked smaller than I remembered. Maybe it had always been this size, just overfilled with expectation. Mom opened the door, not smiling, but not frowning either. You came, she said simply. I did. The kitchen smelled like the dinners of our childhood, roast chicken and something burning slightly on purpose. Dad was at the table, posture careful, as if sitting across from me required concentration. There was no performance this time. No plates stacked like trophies, just a meal and 3 people trying to act like the past hadn't been televised through 1,000 unread texts. We ate mostly in silence. Then, halfway through, Mom said softly, "We shouldn't have written that comment." I looked up. Her voice wobbled. "It was thoughtless. I thought I was being funny. I wasn't." I nodded slowly. "It wasn't about funny. It was about what you believed." She met my eyes. "Maybe it was. Maybe I thought being proud of Tessa meant there was only so much pride to go around." "And now?" I asked. "Now I think I confused dependence with love." The sentence landed heavy and true. Dad cleared his throat. "I wasn't innocent in any of it," he said. "I let her talk me into things because it was easier than arguing. We took advantage of you, and then we called it family." There was a long pause where the air seemed to shift. It wasn't an apology dressed as a lecture. It was real, quiet, heavy. After dinner, Mom handed me a folded envelope. Inside was a check, not large, but neat, and a handwritten note. For everything we said was for the family, when it was really for ourselves. It's not enough, but it's a start. I didn't cry. I didn't even unfold the check completely. I just said, "Thank you," and meant it. On the way home, I rolled down the window and let October air rush in. Noah squeezed my hand. "How'd it go?" "They didn't justify," I said. "They admitted. There's a difference." He smiled. "That's progress." We stopped for coffee. The cashier handed me my change with a shy grin. "I follow your business page," she said. "Your posts about boundaries, they helped me leave my last job." I blinked. "You read those?" "All of them," she said. The one that said, "You can love people without letting them bankrupt you." That one hit hard. I thanked her, but my chest went warm. I hadn't realized how many people might need to hear the same thing I did. A week later, an email from Clara Vance arrived. Short, impersonal, but oddly comforting. "Per your previous request, all linked family access has been permanently removed. We recommend maintaining independent financial channels to prevent recurrence. Policy protects peace." She'd signed it with her initials only, CV. Noah laughed when he saw it. "Even your old ghosts respect your boundaries." "Or they're scared of them," I said. Tessa never reached out directly, but one night she posted a new story. A photo of her at a small gallery show, wearing the same smirk as always, but with a different caption. "Learning to stand on my own." No hashtags, no subtweets, just that. For the first time, I didn't roll my eyes. I double-tapped, quietly, from my anonymous backup account. Not forgiveness, just a tiny, invisible nod between sisters who'd finally stopped draining each other. That winter, Dad texted me a picture of a dented Toyota. "Bought it myself," he wrote. "Runs fine." I smiled and replied, "Proud of you." He sent a thumbs-up emoji. It looked awkward but sincere. I've learned that closure doesn't always arrive with grand gestures. Sometimes it's a dinner without a demand, a text that ends without manipulation, a balance sheet that stays balanced because you finally stopped paying for everyone else's chaos. My desk now has a new sticky note above it, the upgraded version of the one that saved me. 1. My accounts are mine. 2. Emergencies are rare. 3. Love requires consent, not collateral. Mom calls every few weeks now, mostly to talk about recipes or weather. Dad still sends me YouTube clips of car repairs I'll never attempt. Tessa keeps her distance but has stopped posting in italics. And me? I work. I rest. I spend my money without guilt. I answer when I want to, not when I'm summoned. The piece I bought back wasn't cheap, but it was worth every dollar I refused to spend. Because the truth is simple, and it fits neatly in one line. I will not carry what I do not own. And finally, they all understand what that means.